Hello and welcome to Rank Class. In this week's episode, I'm gonna talk about abortion and sexual education. So, this is something I can't believe that we still have to talk about in our current day and age. And I know I'm from a country where we were the first to release pornography, and we have had abortion for a long time, and we have some sexual education, not the best, but we have some. And it's kind of weird to look at the world and see how we as people move forward, but some of us keep wanting to go backwards. Some of us, for some reason, want to say that abortion should be illegal because it is something that is not in the Bible or that is unnatural. But that is a flawed argument since drugs to get rid of babies as well as stuff that acted like a contraceptive pill has been something that's been around for thousands of years. Like they have found out that in Egypt they used crocodile dung mixed with some herbs to actually prevent pregnancy. So it's kind of stupid for people to say what they are saying because it's just a flawed argument. But it's kind of insane that what they believe in is, I'm quoting Monty Python, that every sperm is sacred. And they say that in Monty Python, The Meaning of Life. But even there, they talk about it, how absurd it is, and how stupid it is, and why you should be allowed to buy condoms and pills that can help you prevent pregnancy. And okay, if you believe that you have to save the baby that is now a fetus that is still not a baby, and you have lost the state you cannot have an abortion if you are past 6 weeks, which is insane because most people don't know they're pregnant within the first 6 weeks. But if you truly believe that this fetus should be born, then you take the baby when it's born. Instead of trying to control other people's body, you take the baby so it can come into your life and not their life because they might not be ready for it. And since everyone is not ready to have a baby, or they have been raped in some cases, and the baby has been forced onto them, into them, and now you're taking away the control they could have to remove a burden on their life. Or you might have a bunch of teens who had sex and didn't have proper sex education where they talked about safe sex, and now they're expecting a baby. And again, if you feel that you believe it's okay to say to them, you have to have this baby, then you need to take the baby and not the teens or the people who got raped or people who ain't fit to have a child. And if you argue, but I'm just trying to save a life, well, you might actually not save a life. You might instead mess off life instead. Because having a baby truly can be amazing. I love my child all over the world, but it was planned and I was ready. I have seen people who were not ready in any way or form having kids. And it is not saving the child then it's actually making the life worse for not only the child, but also the parents. I have seen kids being removed from their family because the family was not fit, and how it can damage and be a massive setback both for the parents and the child. And if you have some parents who ain't fit to have babies, but they keep making babies because they don't know about safe sex or they just keep doing it, well, then abortion might be the best choice in the end to save themselves and the coming child for going through the same cycle over and over and over. And it's sad because we don't really see the effect in our daily life of the parents who were not ready to give life to this world, or the children who might become balls tossed around in this system we have to help them, and might be taking away from the parents, giving to people, taking away, going to a foster care home. And it's such a massive burden for the child. And again, if you say that it's according to your religion wrong, well, then you follow that religion. The rest of us don't. So don't make life worse for other people. We all have our own right to our own bodies. And religion should never be something used in talks about abortion or sexual education. Let's just have an open talk about it. Since I'm so sad to see our world move forward, but at some points, for some reason, we keep reversing 2,000 years back in time because people keep believing that they have the right to control every other people's life and their decisions based on a book they follow and the rest of us don't. And to quote Monty Python again, because they are amazing, in Life of Brian, the disciples cannot figure out if they should take off the shoe or not and worship it. And that is basically something I could force you to do because I say it's in the book that I believe in, and I want everyone to take off the left shoe and try and force you to do the same. And if you find the idea of that absurd, then good, because it is so. And so is it that religion stops us from moving forward. And I know it can be weird to listen to a man say all this because I'm a man and I don't have a fear of abortion. But I have seen parents and children's life can change for the worse. How parents who didn't care for the child since it was a forced child, or how kids had to be removed by force by parents who wasn't ready to have a child. So if we want to move forward as a world, we need to stop letting absurd scriptures control this debate. We need to look at the science. We need to look at the data. We need to have a good open talk about it. We need to have a good open sexual education so we can talk about safe sex, since that will, in the end, decrease the numbers of abortions that are needed because people now know about condoms, pills, and other stuff that can help them prevent pregnancy. And then we can let the people who need an abortion have an abortion, since people can die from not getting one and lives can be destroyed. And it's not our right to take away from that person, it's their right. And since you believe you have that right, well, then if you follow the same argument, well, that means you can't masturbate as a male, since that is potential killing 350 million coming children. It means no getting turned on by anything or having wet dreams or pre-cum. It means that you as a male no longer are allowed to control your own penis, just like you're trying to take control of the woman's uterus. And if you're a woman who is trying to control other women's uterus, well, you are no longer allowed to have a period, since that is basically flushing an egg out that could be potentially a baby. So unless you're able to stop that as well, stop messing with other people's bodies. And it really needs to stop, since it's just so hard to believe that we as a world and society keeps moving backward when it comes to this, and it just makes me so sad and mad. And I really hope that whoever listens to this will share this around the world. I want to share it so much that every person end up listening to it, so we can really force in a better talk about abortions and a better talk about sexual education, since I want to live in a world where people can actually live their own life and not getting forced into something they don't want to by a book. So feel free to join me on social media sites. And if you want to debate this with me, either pro-life or against life, as they say, where I actually say pro-abortion and against abortion, which sounds a lot better. And if you post on any of my social sites, YouTube, Facebook, Reddit, Patreon, I will try to reply to every one of you, because I really want to have a debate about this. I really want to have a talk about moving forward. And if I have to argue with everyone on the internet for this to happen, well, bring it on. I will try to do that, so we can start moving forward instead of backwards. So I wish you all a very nice day.